What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Equali Espresso and welcome back to another Black Ops 3 video here today on the channel. This one, we just talked about who Dr. Monty was in relation to the zombie storyline. He's going to be a huge part of DLC 4, but really the understanding of the omnipotent being part of his characteristics is really something that is a little bit misconstrued, perhaps. Something that we may take in a fashion that maybe he seems like it, but is he actually what omnipotent means, which is essentially a god? So to put it in the most simplest of terms, in layman's terms, is Dr. Monty a god in the zombie storyline? Well, that could, in theory, make a lot of sense, especially whenever we see all sorts of different controls, different cycles that are controlled by a seemingly higher power. That would be really an easy explanation as to it, and with his hand in the zombie storyline, so much so that all the chalk outlines, the mystery boxes, the power-ups, the perks, all that kind of stuff, it's supposedly from him, or at least so he claims. So would this then make him essentially a god? Well, there's actually a very interesting theory here that he's not. And though he may not be, he at least is of a higher dimension, which is something that is more than likely true. Probably about 99% true here. But we're gonna go back all the way to the Monty blueprint where we have the Tesseract. I'll put that image up on screen here now for you guys. And what the Tesseract is that cube, and it is basically a visual conception of how higher dimensions work. That's something that is actually a real thing in modern day science and theoretical astrophysics, things like that, where they deal with different dimensional properties in theory. Obviously, 3 dimensions is the highest that our beings can understand, humans, and for the sake of zombies, our characters. Now, in that image, there is a KN-44, which perhaps alludes to him being responsible for all this kind of stuff, which, like we said in one of the most recent WISPs, we did get that confirmed to us. So this image almost then solidifies that Monty is in or from the 4th dimension, and that is where his omnipotence comes into play, where he seems godlike to our characters because they don't fully understand the implications of the 4th dimension. Now, this 4th dimension could be very ethereal, and it may very well be occupied by more than just Monty. Perhaps that of the Apothecans, the Keepers, and even perhaps Maxis. But why does it seem godly to our characters in a sense? Well, because the 4th dimension is something that nobody in the 3-dimensional world has ever experienced. The full theory in its entirety, written by Tinfoil Hat's work over on the Call of Duty Zombies subreddit, references an explanation that Carl Sagan did a long while back. This essentially was that whenever you take something that is completely flat and it's a 2-dimensional space, they can't see up. So essentially they're limited to front and back and then left and right in terms of their viewpoints. If a 3-dimensional object were to be hovering over top of them or even entering into it, they would only see either a sliver or none of it, and it would seem almost godly, where there would be matter that is not seen, but it's there, which is something that would freak a lot of people out and perhaps even, like in the zombie storyline, throw off our characters tremendously. But that then explains why at round 14 and 15, Monty is a booming voice of omnipotence and why he has this insight into what we can see but we can't see back. Another interesting piece here is that in the Giant, Maxis says that he knows where and when you are, essentially being able to traverse the 3-dimensional world and the timelines there within and the universes that are subsequently tied in with that. You can essentially breeze through time and across dimensions as a 4th dimensional being. With properties like this then tying into what we've seen already of Maxis and perhaps even the Apothecans and the Keepers as they have traversed the universes and the timelines to teleport into where we are as the players, this then ties into that higher theory of a 4th dimension, and that to me is where Monty resides. Now, there also is some arguments that Monty could potentially be a god because he references free will so much, and that he also has to, as he puts it, step in from time to time. However, later on in one of his quotes, he also references that by stepping in from time to time, it's more so planting an idea, which can be done as a verbal presence of omnipotence as a 4th dimensional being. So it is something that still ties into the higher aspects, and once again, I believe will also reference back to the ethereal presence in the zombie storyline. So it's very interesting to think about here. I think definitely something that ties into the storyline into a major way, but has yet to really be fully understood or revealed to us in some aspects. So that's where we're gonna wrap it up here today, ladies and gentlemen. I would love to hear your thoughts down there in the comment section down below. Did you guys find this interesting? Firstly, because I think this is probably one of the cooler theories here out there. The full theory will be linked down there in the description below here with that. It's an absolutely awesome theory, and it got me thinking about all this kind of stuff, and I absolutely love this kind of stuff, not only for for like the theoretical astrophysics aspect to it, but because it's the zombie storyline, and I absolutely love that as well. So love to hear your thoughts down there. Do you think it's interesting? Do you think this is the case that Monty is just an ethereal being in the 4th dimension, or do you think that he potentially is the god in the zombies storyline? Love to hear your thoughts down there in the comment section down below, but thank you dude so much for watching. If you guys liked the video, be sure to like, rating down below, and if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers, so every little bit does help and is of course greatly appreciated. But mine is video called Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.